Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm in a great mood today, so I'm going to tell you all a sad story. Hith. Don't you guys think the world is pretty peaceful right now? I mean, Russia and Ukraine are having a bit of a tiff, but hey, at least we're not dead yet, right? That's why, to celebrate all this peace and quiet, the story I'm about to tell is about the end of the world. What if one day, strange phenomena started appearing on our peaceful Earth? The sky turning a blood-red color, violent storms, lightning flashing everywhere. What would it be like if rocks and debris started flying through the air? Living creatures and humanity all began to mutate. They became aggressive. They lost their minds. Normal people had to slaughter these creatures, and the mutated humans just to stay alive. If a day like that ever came, what would you do? Returning to the apocalypse as a top dog is our story for today. The guy holding that huge pig sticker of a sword, the pro fighting this monster, is our main character. And the girl on the ground with the Neza-style double hair buns is his little sister. Our main character's name is Yang Fan, and his sister is Yang Qingxue. Yang Fan is a level 7 berserker. He's struggling to hold off a level 8 butcher zombie. Sensing how dangerous the monster was, Yang Fan told his sister to run. But just then, he lost focus, creating an opening. The monster seized the opportunity and launched a surprise attack. Seeing this, Qingxue rushed forward and took the fatal blow for Yang Fan. His sister's life was on the line, and that's when Yang Fan's plot armor kicked in. He finished off the monster in a hot second, even though he was getting his ass kicked and was seriously injured just moments before. At this point, you're probably not thinking this story is very sad, are you? Yeah, because this is where it gets really messed up. After killing the monster, Yang Fan carried his sister back to the 3rd Tianlun Division base, hoping to get some holy revival water to save her. Quick, over here. The moment he walked through the door, he saw his girlfriend, Zhao Yunrong, passionately making out with the leader of the 3rd Tianlun Division base. Xiao Ao. Can you believe this shit? Xiao Ao and Zhao Yunrong were completely shocked to see Yang Fan return alive. Especially Xiao Ao. He couldn't believe it. He deliberately lied to Yang Fan, telling him the level 8 butcher zombie was just a regular corpse tide. But our MC still managed to survive. Hearing his sister's groans of pain, Yang Fan remembered his duty as a good older brother. He immediately pushed aside the fact that he'd just been cuckolded in the worst way possible. He begged Xiao Ao for the holy revival water to save Qingxue. You know, his name might be Xiao Ao, but he's pure arrogance. The guy was arrogant as hell. He went full-on villain mode, acting all high and mighty, making you wonder how many chapters a side character like him is even going to last. He refused to give Yang Fan the potion because it was extremely valuable. So Yang Fan took out his one and only valuable possession, a golden ring. No idea if it's real gold or not. But let me tell you, that ring is seriously precious, because it holds the secret to ultimate power and can make its owner a supreme lord. So how the hell was our MC still stuck at level 7? Anyway, this Xiao Ao guy wasn't an idiot, just an asshole, and he laid it all out. He said if Yang Fan died, he'd get the ring anyway, and he wouldn't have to waste the holy revival water. I don't know if his armpits are dark, but I can tell you his heart is pure poison. Hearing this, our main character went berserk and called the other guy a bastard. He drew his sword and attacked, but if our hero had succeeded this time, there wouldn't be a story to tell. So yeah, he went down in a single blow. Realizing he had absolutely no chance of turning things around, he decided to take them all down with him. If I can't be happy, then neither can you. He swallowed the ring. He may have swallowed the ring, but that didn't make Xiao Ao's greed disappear. So he cut open Yang Fan's stomach to dig the ring out. But the ring basically told Xiao Ao, "Who the hell are you? I don't know you. Get the hell away from me." Then it unleashed a blinding golden light that engulfed everything. Holy crap. Surprise, mother asterisk cur. Time was reversed. Yang Fan's eyes shot open in shock once again. What just happened? Traveling back in time, returning to the past. A strange moment. Wait, this moment feels familiar. It's 3 hours before the start of the apocalypse. Yang Fan was stunned by the scene before him. He even pinched his own cheek until it hurt just to make sure this wasn't a dream. He had really returned to the time before the apocalypse began. Maybe that ring really did have supernatural powers. And maybe it's also a bit picky about its owner, which is why it gave Yang Fan a second chance. We'll just have to go with that, because if our MC stayed dead, there'd be no more story to read, right? Anyway, continuing with the story, our guy has returned to 3 hours before the apocalypse. He's on a warm, soft bed, and next to him is his hot, beautiful girlfriend, Zhao Yunrong, betrayed once. Eternal hatred. Yang Fan looked at Zhao Yunrong's seductive body, clad only in lingerie beside him, with nothing but contempt and suspicion. He couldn't decide whether to kill her or thank her. If she hadn't betrayed him, maybe he never would have gotten this second chance to do it all over again. Now that he was back, Yang Fan was determined to take back everything. He wouldn't spare a single person who had a hand in his death. Just as he made that vow, the bedroom door burst open. 2 thugs kicked their way in. They were armed with baseball bats. Turns out, these 2 were hired to get their hands on. I can't believe the innocent-looking Zhao Yunrong is actually a 2-timing schemer. In a last life, she was messing around with Xiao Ao. In this one, it's some guy named Brother Long. But this time, I'm not letting my heart overrule my head. I'm smarter now. I'll just take care of all of them and get back everything I lost. In my past life, it was because these guys beat me half to death. And I was almost killed by a zombie that I missed my chance to build up my power early on, forcing me to become Xiao Ao's underling. Every rose has its thorns, and you'd have to be crazy to be a merciful killer. While our hero was busy calculating his revenge, the gangsters continued to run their mouths. Hearing the thugs threaten to break his 3rd leg, while Zhao Yunrong shrieked in mock terror, Yang Fan felt a mix of cold indifference and pure disgust. He couldn't believe how blind he'd been in his past life, falling for the pathetic acting of this green tea bitch next to him. Don't worry, man. Love blindness isn't a chronic condition. Trust me, your vision is clearer than car headlights now. Just then, one of the thugs swung the baseball bat viciously at Yang Fan's head. The guy who'd been sitting there like a log suddenly reacted. In a flash, he dodged the fatal blow. He even had time to sneer that the thug was too slow. With lightning speed, our hero moved behind him. He grabbed the head of the thug who just swung at him and slammed it hard against the wall. The devastating blow cracked the wall and shattered his skull. He even took the moment to preach. The apocalypse is a world for the strong. Of course, the guy wasn't alive to hear any of it. Yang Fan's power left the little green tea, Zhao Yunrong, and the other thug frozen in shock for a solid 5 seconds. But before they could snap out of it, Brother Fan had already sent the remaining thug's jaw flying. So much for being a tough guy. This scene is just epic, folks. The fight just started and he got 2 shot. What a total noob. After dealing with the thugs, Yang Fan was about to grab his pants, his jacket and leave, but the little green tea tried to turn on charm. But these days, no matter how sweet she sounds, it's all just poison in his ears, honey. He's woken up from the dream. He's not falling for your crap anymore. Yang Fan coldly told her she was disgusting. He warned her that the next time they met, he'd be carving her name on a tombstone. Then he left without a second glance. The little green tea was stunned. Just yesterday, they were tangled up in bed. And today, he was gone for good. That man was a true bastard. You're hot, I'll give you that, but our MC is sorry to say, this is goodbye. Forever. Is our boy just cursed or what? He jumped out of the frying pan and landed right in the fire. Yep, the apocalypse had come knocking. Sensing that all hell was about to break loose, Yang Fan immediately pulled out his phone and called his little sister. Turns out, she's gorgeous, stunning, fair-skinned, but she's also a complete narcissist. She had to hype herself up with about 1,000 compliments before she could even say hi to her brother. Whether by nature or by training, Brother Fan was completely immune to her nonsense. He got straight to the point. He told his sister to lock every single door in her room. Don't open it for anyone, no matter who it is, and wait for him. Having a brother like that is like winning the lottery, isn't it? Too bad his little sister was stubborn. His words went in one ear and out the other. She even argued back, saying her dorm was perfectly safe and that he was just overreacting. Snap out of it, girl. If you don't, no one can save you. Hearing that, our boy's tone changed instantly. He urged his sister to listen, because if she didn't, not even a god could flash over there and save her in time. You gotta give her credit. She's got a sassy mouth, but her brain still works. She went to lock the door. And that's when she saw the horrifying scene below. A horde of zombies, feasting on human flesh. At that same moment, the call disconnected. All Yang Fan could hear on his end was a cold, flat dial tone, not the playful voice of his sister. He frantically called out, Ching, Ching Shua. As the apocalypse began, It wasn't just a world that was thrown into chaos. People and animals alike warped into horrifying monsters, and in the pandemonium, the phone networks went down for good. The signal was dead. Yang Fan couldn't reach his sister anymore. Still, he could rest easy for now. In his past life, Qingshue's dormitory had been a safe zone. It could hold out for a while, long enough for him to get there in time. Just then, the ring on his finger suddenly began to glow. Yang Fan immediately recognized the sign. A traitor was nearby. It was as if the heavens themselves were on his side. He's the main character, after all. He's just that good. The only problem was, the ring's energy sensor led Yang Fan to a rather sensitive location. The wonderful bathhouse, also known as the school's women's locker room. He couldn't be sure a traitor was actually in there. But if he went in and got swarmed by a bunch of girls, he'd never get his mission accomplished. I mean, our hero is a perfect gentleman, right? But the moment he stepped inside, he was met by a female zombie. She lunged at him like a bloodthirsty demon. Which, to be fair, she was. Yang Fan calmly sized up the female zombie's physique. Then, he smashed open the emergency axe cabinet. Weapon in hand, Yang Fan decisively lopped off the zombie's head. Who'd be interested in a zombie, anyway? Not our man Yang Fan. He was only interested in the zombie's crystal core. Even if it was a low-level one, he wasn't about to pass it up. At this point, he had thoroughly embraced the philosophy that every little bit counts. Right after killing the zombie and taking its core, Yang Fan found the gray-robed traitor. This was unexpectedly fast. In his past life, it had taken him 3 months to find traitor. Traitors are mysterious beings that appeared after the apocalypse began. Simply put, they function like vending machines. Automatic ones. You trade crystal cores for items, equipment, and potions. Evolution. The higher a trader's level, the rarer and more powerful its items and potions are. There are 9 different levels. 4 traders. They are gray, white, blue, yellow, green, cyan, indigo, violet. Anyone carrying crystal cores can approach a trader to make a deal. Yang Fan didn't hesitate. He quickly opened the trading interface. Everything, including the trader itself, was exactly the same as in his past life. The ring's discount function still worked, too. Thanks to it, the price of a level 1 evolution potion dropped from 100 crystal cores to just 40. After browsing for a bit, Yang Fan still couldn't find anything he really wanted. Then he remembered the ring's ridiculously overpowered once-a-week function, getting a high-grade item for a dirt-cheap price. The ring's function, that is. Luckily, when he tried it, the offer was still there. It even presented him with an ultimate-grade sledgehammer profession card, valued at 1,500 crystal cores. It was on sale for just 600. You all thought he got his hands on an epic item, right? Too bad. He might be lucky, but he's still broke. Even with the discount, he didn't have enough crystal cores to buy it. He couldn't even afford a single evolution potion, let alone a profession card. Just then, a noise came from the next room. Yang Fan went to check it out. He found a zombie about to attack 2 girls. Gotta admit, all the girls in this series are total knockouts. Stacked bodies and gorgeous faces. The brown-haired girl snatched a knife from the blue-haired girl and threatened the one who had just turned. Hey, lady, she's already a zombie. She's lost all reason. She can't understand a word you're saying. And so, while the girls were still hesitating, our hero swung his axe and took the zombie's head clean off. It all happened in a flash. The brown-haired woman immediately accused him of murder. Yang Fan was instantly annoyed. He had just saved their lives, only to be judged for it. He told the woman to shut her mouth, because the thing he cut down wasn't a person, but a mutated zombie. If he hadn't killed it, the 2 of them would be dead now. The brown-haired woman caught on quickly. She thanked Yang Fan for saving them. She introduced herself as Yenyu, and the blue-haired girl with glasses was Duanmu Dai. Out of professional habit, Duanmu Dai was already lost in thought, pondering what kind of species these zombies were. Yang Fan was stunned as well. So it was them. Talk about a small world. In his past life, Yenyu was the top enforcer and master sharpshooter for the Blood Rose base, while Duanmu Dai was its lead biologist specializing in mutated creatures. You'd think this would lead to a dramatic reunion, but no. Another female zombie appeared right behind Yang Fan while his mind was elsewhere. Was this it for Yang Fan? Last time on, Yang Fan was attacked by a female zombie while he was distracted. Just when you thought it was all over for our hero, it wasn't. If he died so easily after being reborn, he'd be pretty damn useless. Before the zombie could even touch Yang Fan, one of Yin Yu's throwing knives sent it stumbling. But the knives only wounded it. They weren't enough to kill a zombie. Yang Fan marveled at the speed of Yin Yu's throw, while explaining that to kill a zombie, you have to smash their heads in. And he practiced what he preached. He quickly sent the zombie to meet its maker and collected its crystal core. Yang Fan glanced at the two women who had just witnessed his brutal display. Not only are they powerful, he thought, they're also a couple of freaks who enjoy observing zombies. But then he remembered. In his past life, these two formed one of the most powerful squads. The Blood Rose. Yin Yu is a level 8 master sharpshooter, with the ability to assassinate targets from a distance with a single, fatal blow. And Duanmu Dai was a level 6 mutation expert. She could control mutated plants and animals. Their squad and Yang Fan's 3rd Tianlun base had always been fierce rivals. He'd even crossed blades with him a few times. Are you looking for this? While Yang Fan was still searching for it, Yin Yu held out the zombie's crystal core to him. Yang Fan was surprised she'd found it. Yin Yu pointed to Duanmu Dai, bragging about her friend. She aced anatomy. She's the one who found the core. Duanmu Dai blushed. I just wanted to study the zombie for a bit, she said. Yin Yu then suggested they form an alliance. Let's work together. Yang Fan felt a rush. He was being invited to team up with the two goddesses who led a rival faction in his past life. He quickly weighed his options. Investing in their potential now could strengthen his own position later and help him kill Xiao Hao, a high-ranking manager from the Tianlun base in his past life. And if that wasn't enough, Duanmu Dai even complimented him on his pure eyes. You must be a good person. Before we go outside, could you two please put some clothes on? Fortunately, Duanmu Dai realized they'd been a little too exposed for a little too long. She asked Yang Fan to step outside so they could change. He backed out the door and decided to check the area for more zombies. A short while later, the two women emerged fully dressed. Yin Yu asked Yang Fan if he knew why Wang Yu, the girl from the bathhouse, had turned into a zombie. And are there zombies only in this bathhouse? I don't know. There's zombies outside, too. Yang Fan replied. Hearing this, Yin Yu suggested they find a safe place and wait for rescue. Yang Fan gave her a look of utter disbelief. A safe place? Are you kidding me? There's no such thing anymore. The number of zombies is increasing like crazy, and they're constantly evolving. But don't we know how to? Yin Yu countered. Evolve to? Yang Fan was too tired to argue. Claiming the coast was clear, he told them to come outside so they could talk more. Outside, the sky was pitch black. Yang Fan laid out his proposition. He told them he could help them become as strong as he was. But in exchange, he had 3 conditions. First, you follow my orders without question. Second, we collect the crystal core from every zombie we kill. Every zombie. And third, traders pay with their lives. Yin Yu turned to Duanmu Tai for her opinion. With the eyes of an expert judge of character, she read his face. Duanmu Tai declared that Yang Fan's smile told her he was telling the truth, and it was possible he had already evolved. Otherwise, there's no way he'd be this powerful. Yin Yu felt like she'd stumbled into a cheesy romance novel. She found Yang Fan interesting. The two girls agreed to Yang Fan's conditions. The 3 of them formed a team. They headed toward Teaching Building 1. By now, the building was swarming with zombies, leaving the 2 girls completely bewildered as to where they should go. Don't ask so many questions. You two just stay quiet behind me and collect the cores. That's all. Yang Fan gave a dark smile. After giving the 2 girls their important task, he charged out with his axe. His main character aura was shining at full blast. With a single swing of his axe, he effortlessly took down a zombie. Duanmu Tai was completely obedient. The moment she saw a core fly out, she scurried over to pick it up. She took the opportunity to analyze it, theorizing that it was formed by some kind of elemental chemical reaction within the human nervous system. And this was the very reason humans mutated into zombies. Yin Yu immediately wondered if that meant the cores could turn them into zombies too. Duanmu Tai said that, in theory, yes, but they still needed to analyze its components further. And all the while, Yang Fan was still on a killing spree. It made Yin Yu wonder why he was collecting these cores. Yin Yu was in silent awe of Yang Fan's terrifying strength. A zombie appeared right behind them. Just as Duanmu Tai noticed it, the zombie was sent flying by a car. A flashy, bright yellow car screeched to a halt in front of the two girls. From the car, a young man with a rose in his mouth stepped out, striking a pose. It turned out he was Lin Tian, the heir to the Lin Corporation and the man who was obsessively pursuing Yenyu. The moment he got out of the car, he started spouting sappy lines, insisting their meeting was fate. Lin Tian arrogantly declared that with him here, no one could harm them. He invited them into his car so he could drive them out of this hellhole. But Yenyu wasn't moved by his sweet talk. To her, he was nothing more than a piece of gum on her shoe that she couldn't scrape off. You almost feel sorry for the guy. But why does he have to look like a punk and follow her around like a lost puppy? No wonder she's not into him. Meanwhile, Yang Fan was still busy chopping off zombie heads, while yelling for the two girls to stay close. Yenyu explained that they were being tailed by a persistent leech. Seeing how strong Yang Fan was, Lin Tian offered him a job as his bodyguard. Too bad for him. This guy's job is to be the main character, not a bodyguard. A little pocket change can't compete with the author's backing. Power. Seeing that he hadn't convinced Yang Fan, Lin Tian coolly pulled out a blank check. He even promised to cover all of the main character's expenses, like a sugar daddy. But to the main character, those words were just a reminder to quickly stockpile supplies. Weapons. Food. For the apocalypse. Another zombie lunged at Duanmu Tai. Yang Fan appeared in a flash, cleaving its head off. He told the girls they needed to get out of here fast. He yelled for them to follow close behind him. This move completely infuriated Lin Tian. He screamed, "Are you blind? Can't you see I'm young Master Lin of the Lin Corporation? TCH. Who's the main character here? If it's not you, why should I listen to you?" And right at that moment, his precious Yin Yu was obediently following behind Yang Fan. It made him grind his teeth and call after her. This guy must be a total narcissist. Does he think he's the center of the universe or something, always demanding everyone pay attention to him? The situation was critical. Yang Fan's group was surrounded by zombies on all sides. Duanmu Tai then spotted an unusual flower. Yang Fan quickly recognized it as a level 2 mutated plant. It had appeared far too soon compared to his past life. Its evolution is even faster than mine. Min Xiao. Son of a bitch. The pollen from the level 2 demon flower began to spread. It can control level 1 zombies and make them attack in swarms. Everyone, be careful, Yang Fan shouted. The horde of zombies was growing larger and larger. Yang Fan told the two girls to get behind him. We're charging through. Level 1 zombies are slow. Yin Yu also began to unleash her formidable martial arts skills. Yang Fan was in awe of her strength. As expected of the strongest strategist of the Crimson Rose, she could take on zombies barehanded and still have the upper hand. With his souped-up battle car, Lin Tian charged in to protect Yin Yu. Wherever his wheels turned, zombies were sent flying. Goes to show you just how powerful money really is. That car was worth every penny. Seeing his chance, Yang Fan told the two girls to run to the lecture hall and barricade the entrance. But Lin Tian was one step ahead, rushing to slam the door shut and lock them out. Facing Yin Yu's fury, he laid out his terms. If she agreed to be his girlfriend, he'd open the door and let them in. Such a typical rich boy move. Successful people forge their own paths, I guess. Whether this path of young Master Lin's will be successful, though, I have my doubts. Knowing Yin Yu's personality, who could possibly force her into anything? And true to form, our straightforward heroine didn't mince words, immediately calling the rich kid a despicable, shameless scumbag. But if I were Lin Tian, I'd be pretty pissed off too, folks. The guy risked his life coming to the school because he was worried Yin Yu was in danger. He came to find her. He'd been chasing her for a whole year, and she wouldn't even give him the time of day. Then he gets here only to see his crush not just following, but taking orders from some dirt-poor nobody with a shady past. It'd be weirder if he wasn't mad. I admire Yin Yu's spirit, but I can also see where Lin Tian's coming from. To everyone else, he's a total jerk. To me, too. The zombies were closing in on them. The lecture hall was no longer an option. So Yang Fan told them to head for the back door of the cafeteria. The two girls told Yang Fan to be careful, then took off. The zombies were multiplying. The priority now was to deal with that mutated demon flower first. Otherwise, for every zombie they killed, another would just take its place. Yang Fan fought relentlessly, but the demon flower was just as tough. It quickly evolved to level 2. Finally, Yang Fan carved a bloody path toward the demon flower. He swung his axe down with all his might. But life is always full of nasty surprises. Somehow, this mutated demon flower was harder than steel. A full force strike from Yang Fan only managed to crack its outer layer. Yang Fan began to wonder why a level 2 mutated demon flower, something that shouldn't have appeared until a week after the apocalypse, was already here. Could his own rebirth have triggered a butterfly effect? But he had no time to think. Yang Fan had to fight for his life against the horde of zombies being controlled and sent after him by the demon flower. Just when Yang Fan thought it was all over, a throwing knife flew out of nowhere, saving him from certain death. It was Yin Yu and Duanmu Dai. They come back for him. Yin Yu remarked that even though Yang Fan was a bad student, he wasn't completely useless. She could lend him a hand. Yang Fan never imagined that in a moment like this, he'd be fighting side by side with his fated rival from his past life. He then noticed a scratch on Yin Yu's arm from a zombie, but she was tough as nails. Ignoring her own wound, she urged everyone to hurry up and finish off the demon flower. In Duanmu Dai's hands was a jug of cooking oil. It was flammable. Yang Fan immediately understood her brilliant plan. Yin Yu charged the zombies with her knife, providing cover while the other two handled the demon flower. Without a moment's hesitation, Yang Fan doused the demon flower in oil and set it on fire. The massive blaze roared to life, burning the demon flower to ash. Fortunately, it was only a level 2 demon flower. If it were any stronger, a normal fire wouldn't have been enough to kill it. However, its pollen, now scattered in the air, could still paralyze the nervous system, causing anyone who breathed it in to fall into a deep slumber. Realizing this, Yang Fan quickly grabbed the two girls and made a run for it. Once all the zombies had fallen asleep, young Master Lin, who had been sulking, cautiously emerged to look for Yin Yu. Seeing all the sleeping zombies, he assumed the three of them had actually managed to kill them all, the entire horde. He approached the charred stump of the flower and noticed a small bud nearby. He reached out to touch it. Before his fingers could even graze it, the bud shot out and impaled him straight through the chest. Even in death, he was still muttering his arrogant, "This young master" catchphrase. Talk about karma. I guess getting killed by a flower bud is what you get for spending your life picking flowers and sweet-talking girls. So what happened to Yang Fan and the others? Where are they now? And what about Yin Yu's wound? After running and fighting off zombies for a while, Yin Yu suddenly collapsed. She couldn't run any further. The zombie scratch had infected her. Her arm was swelling, turning a dark, purplish red. Yin Yu figured turning into a zombie would be hideous. She told Yang Fan he might as well just kill her now. Yang Fan immediately tried to reassure her. What's the rush? She can still be saved. Once she actually turns into a zombie, I won't hesitate to put her down. He then bent down and lifted Yin Yu onto his back. Despite his words, Yang Fan knew Yin Yu's condition was critical. Yang Fan hadn't evolved to level 1 yet. His ring could only purify level 0 mutations. They had to get back to the women's locker room, find the trader, and get an evolution potion to level up. It was the only way to save her. Yin Yu and Duanmu were truly the best of friends. She struggled to keep up from behind, letting Yang Fan run ahead with Yin Yu on his back. After all, saving Yin Yu was the priority. Yang Fan used a burst of speed, dashing straight for the women's locker room. Just then, Yin Yu started to feel extremely dizzy. Extremely. Duanmu was so worried she was about to cry. Yang Fan snapped at her, telling her not to cry. Give me the crystal cores. The ones you just picked up. The two girls wondered what he needed the cores for, but they kept quiet. Then they noticed a figure in a gray cloak in the direction Yang Fan was heading. The number of crystal cores they had painstakingly gathered was barely enough. As soon as he initiated the trade with the mysterious figure, Yang Fan vanished without a trace right before their eyes. They were stunned, dumbfounded, completely shocked. They couldn't understand how he had suddenly disappeared. Did he give up on saving me? Meanwhile, Yang Fan looked at the price, 4 crystal cores for a single bottle of purified water, and cursed the trader for price gouging. Good thing I have this precious ring. It gave me a discount, and he quickly sealed the deal, buying 1 level 1 evolution potion and 1 bottle of purified water. As Yang Fan drank the potion, on leveled up, he recalled his bitter past, but he didn't forget to give himself a few words of encouragement. Even though they had fought side by side, Yang Fan still didn't fully trust Yin Yu and Duanmu. The secret of his ring's purification ability would be kept from them for now. The trade complete, Yang Fan returned to the two girls, carrying the water now imbued with his purification power. By now, Yinyu had fallen unconscious. She looked like she was on the verge of turning. The situation was dire. So, Yang Fan began feeding the purified water to Yinyu, mouth to mouth. But because Yinyu was unconscious, her teeth were clenched shut, and much of the water spilled out. Duan Mudi watched in horror, completely thunderstruck. Fortunately, the purified water took effect just in time. The symptoms of her mutation quickly faded. The moment Yinyu opened her eyes, she shoved Yang Fan away. Yang Fan, is that how you saved me? Yinyu demanded, her face beet red. How else was I supposed to do it? You were unconscious and couldn't drink it yourself. Here, drink the rest yourself. I'm a perfect gentleman, you know. If I want to make a move, I would have done it the moment we met, jeez. Seeing Yinyu awake, Duan Mudi threw her arms around her, crying like a child. But, hey, could you be a little more careful, sis? Your underwear is totally showing. Despite almost turning into a zombie, Yinyu's mind was as sharp as ever. She had just woken up and was already wondering how Yang Fan had suddenly reappeared. Duan Mudi guessed it had something to do with that gray-cloaked figure. Just as you'd expect from a scientist in her past life. Her powers of observation and sharp analytical mind are incredible. Yang Fan didn't hold back his praise for Duan Mudi's intelligence. At the same time, he explained that the cloaked figure was a traitor. As long as you have crystal cores, you can trade with him. Yinyu marveled at how incredible the traitor was. She now felt deeply indebted to Yang Fan. I'll repay you by killing zombies, she promised. Yang Fan, showing no tact whatsoever, told her they should go right now. No need to wait. Let's strike while the iron is hot. What if you change your mind later? I'd be at a loss, wouldn't I? Duan Mudi supported Yinyu, grumbling about Yang Fan's attitude, especially since Yinyu hadn't fully recovered yet. The three of them returned to Lecture Hall 1. The zombies affected by the pollen still hadn't woken up. Yang Fan wanted to use this golden opportunity to easily harvest their crystal cores. Our boy sees a chance to get rich. But things didn't go as planned. The money was right there, but he couldn't cash in. Did my bad luck follow me from my past life into this one? It seems not even this cheat ring can save me from it. Just as they were about to make their move, Lin Tan, who had already turned into a zombie, lunged at them. His sudden appearance put Yang Fan on high alert. He could feel that something was very wrong with this place. From behind Yang Fan, the same flower bud that had viciously attacked Lin Tian shot towards him at a terrifying speed. Yang Fan grabbed Yinyu and leaped out of the way. The vine missed, slamming into the ground. It sent rock and debris flying everywhere. Its aggressive vines can only attack within a limited range. As long as I keep my distance, it can't do a thing. Meanwhile, Duan Mudi was also being cornered by the relentless vines and their attacks. She dodged quickly, but the vines were still faster. It easily wrapped around her, trapping her. That aggressive vine is a level 1 mutated flower spore. It's the spawn of that level 2 demon flower from before, and it's out for revenge. Yang Fan charged forward, swiftly cutting the vine with his axe to free Duan Mudi. Get to the side and hide, he yelled. But while his attention was diverted, the mutated spore fired a bullet of poison pollen. Yang Fan held his breath in time to avoid inhaling it. But the poison dust flew into his eyes. He was completely blinded. Seizing the opportunity, the vines continued their assault, striking at Yang Fan from behind. Sensing its master was in danger, the golden eye reacted instantly. It unleashed its purification ability, clearing away the poison pollen. With his vision restored, Yang Fan swung his axe, shattering the branch in a single blow. The branch broke apart. From within, 2 crystal cores, one large and one small, fell out. I can't believe I scored such a huge prize. The larger white one is the crystal core of the level 2 demon flower, which the level 1 spore hadn't had time to digest yet. So that's how it is. Mutants can level up by devouring humans and other mutants, and absorb their abilities. It's the law of the jungle in this apocalypse. The big fish eat the small fish. Another flower spore sprouted from the ground. Seeing it, Duan Mudi immediately warned everyone to be careful. But that wasn't a spore, just a crystal essence that inherited some of the demon flower's attributes. Yang Fan plucked it from the ground, telling the 2 girls to follow him back to the washroom to make a trade. One white Crystal from a level 2 demon flower is worth 1,000 crystals. Yang Fan used it, along with his remaining cores, to trade for a rare axe card, the class hammer. He also got 2 level 1 evolution potions and a gun. After that shopping spree, almost all of his hard work from the night was gone. Worked myself to the bone, and I'm still broke. Yang Fan handed the 2 potions and the gun to Yin Yu and Duanmu Di so they could boost their combat power and have weapons to protect themselves. That way, they wouldn't slow him down. Holding the gun, Yin Yu worriedly asked what Yang Fan would use to defend himself if he gave everything to them. Yang Fan just smirked and showed off his new prize, worth 600 crystals. A rare axe card, the class hammer. What secrets did this item hold that made Yang Fan so excited? Yang Fan proudly held up the prize he had just bought for Yin Yu to see. She just stared blankly, having no idea what it was, or what it could do. A dark grin spread across Yang Fan's face. "You'll find out soon enough," he said, and crushed the card in his hand. A brilliant blue light flashed and quickly enveloped him. Ability absorption complete. Class acquired. Artisan. Item acquired. Ring. In this life, I'll reign supreme. You all better not die too quickly. Yang Fan muttered smugly to himself. Yin Yu was completely baffled. "Why are you so pleased with yourself? You don't look any different." Yang Fan explained. "It's something the naked eye can't see. Let me bring you up to speed with the power of the artisan class." Yang Fan could now create the strongest team imaginable, fully equipped with weapons and gear. With that, in this apocalypse, he could use that team to utterly crush the Tianlun base. Yang Fan picked up his broken axe from the ground. "Artisan remodel," he chanted, initiating the epic transformation sequence. The axe melted in an instant, and presto, it reformed into a massive blade. Though, to be honest, it looked more like an oversized pig sticker than a proper saber. But we'll be polite and call it that. The author must have poured all his effort into the character designs and the cards. By the time he got to drawing the equipment, he was probably running on fumes, hence the shoddy design. After turning the axe into a great saber, Yang Fan continued, using the artisan upgrade skill and the mutant essence from the level 2 demon flower to forge a level 2 poison mooncold fury saber. Man, a blade this long and sharp would be amazing for slicing salmon for sushi. This saber might look ugly on the outside, but its internal structure is top-notch. It even has a special property that can stun enemies. Watching what had just happened, Yin Yu and Duanmu could only stare in wide-eyed admiration. Duanmu seized the opportunity, holding out her scalpel to ask if it could be upgraded too. So Yang Fan added a few more materials and forged 2 blades, one for each of them, so they wouldn't have to fight over it. He channeled his energy again, creating 2 level 1 daggers. This thing could probably slice meat like butter. Yang Fan tossed the 2 daggers to them. Duanmu couldn't believe her eyes. Seeing him forge weapons from thin air was a slap in the face to everything she believed as a scientist. Yin Yu handed the evolution serum to Duanmu. Duanmu thought it might give her powers like Yang Fan's, but that wasn't the case. The level 1 evolution serum only provides an initial boost to the body's potential. As someone obsessed with research, Duanmu wanted to study it immediately, but she suppressed the urge and swallowed the serum. After all, she could always buy more later. And if she didn't drink it now, there might not be a later. After they drank it, both women felt a surge of energy. With everything settled, the 3 of them set out. Yang Fan took the lead, blade in hand, heading for their next destination, the women's dormitory, where Qing Shui was. Somehow, the 3 of them managed to find a car. They quickly piled in. Wishing he had a plane to fly there, Yang Fan floored it. The engine roared. The car shot forward like a bullet, sending any zombie in its path flying. By the time Yang Fan arrived, Building 1, the women's dormitory, was already overrun with zombies. He immediately used the car to block the stairwell, cutting off the zombies' path upstairs. The 3 of them sprinted to room 501, his sister's room. But when they got there, the hallway was littered with bodies. The door was wide open. The glass on the window was shattered. The entire room was completely trashed, and not a soul was in sight. Yin Yu noticed signs of a struggle on the floor. When the world happened here? Where is Qing Shui? Could something terrible have happened to her? Finding his sister's dorm empty, Yang Fan began to panic. Yin Yu's observations and theories only pushed him further to the edge. He absolutely refused to believe something had happened to his sister. Duanmu then found phone. It was Qing Shue's. The screen showed a notification. Smartwatch disconnected 15 minutes ago. That single line seemed to snap Yang Fan back to his senses. He was certain his sister couldn't have gone far. He told the two women to split up with him and search. The scene changes to the gym on the 7th floor. Qing Shui and two other girls are tied to chairs. Two more girls lie unconscious on the floor. Surrounding them are 4 men. You gotta be kidding me. Even at the end of the world, these creeps are still this desperate? Or maybe they figure if they're gonna die, they might as well have one last good time and die as sleazebags. But of all the people to mess with, they just had to go after Qing Shui first. Do they have any idea who she is? She's the main character's little sister. As one of them touched her, Qing Shui screamed that her brother wouldn't let them get away with this. But this guy's fear receptors were clearly broken. It seemed like the only part of him still working was between his legs. And it was working overtime. Qing Shui screamed for help in terror. Her fear only seemed to excite the pervert more. Oh, those tears. Let me wipe them away for you. Never having been in a relationship, Qing Shui was about to be assaulted when she finally remembered her brother's warning, regretting that she hadn't listened. You reap what you sow. See where ignoring your big brother got you? Yeah, I see it. A dead end. But thankfully, it seems this girl has all the luck in the family. Before they could do anything, Yang Fan kicked the door in and stormed into the room. Seeing her brother, Qing Shui's spirits lifted instantly. The sight of her savior must have brought her back from despair. When Yang Fan saw a man's hands on his sister, his face twisted with pure rage. No more words. He lunged forward and cleaved the man in two. The other 3 were staring death in the face and still didn't get it. They actually thought the main character had a death wish for daring to touch their boss. Are these guys blind? Take a good look at who you're dealing with. Do you not see the massive freaking sword in his hand? What gives you the nerve to run your mouths? Right after they spoke, 2 of them charged forward, only to be sacrificed to Yang Fan's blade. A single slash sent them straight to hell. The last one tried to sneak attack Yang Fan, only to catch a knife from Yanyu square in the forehead. A swift and deadly throw. The man immediately dropped to his knees, begging for his life. Yanyu never expected that in such a desperate situation. She was flustered, having killed someone for the first time. Yang Fan immediately comforted her, saying she had nothing to feel guilty about. In the apocalypse, if you don't kill, you'll be the one to die. After saying that, Yang Fan untied his sister. Qing Shui shot up and threw herself into her brother's arms, sobbing her heart out. You know, when Duanmu Di was crying earlier, he just got annoyed and told her to knock it off. But now that his little sister is crying, he's all hugs and comfort, apologizing and promising to kill anyone who hurt her. Talk about playing favorites. Still, I gotta admit, he really is the model of a perfect older brother. With a brother like that, it's no wonder that in her past life, Qing Shui didn't hesitate to take a fatal blow for him. The 2 girls who were tied up with Qing Shui earlier demanded to go with Yang Fan, but he turned them down flat. A couple of delicate, pampered young ladies are just dead weight right now. He didn't need them. You think I want you tagging along, getting in the way of me leveling up? While Yang Fan was lecturing these delusional girls, Duanmu Di came over and asked if he'd found his sister yet. Yang Fan cut his speech short and told her he had. Then he left with the 3 girls. The 2 left behind figured he was just full of it. He just thought they weren't as pretty as Yanyu. And Duanmu Di, good thing he didn't take those 2 in. Otherwise, they'd just turn into another Zhao Yunrong. And believe me, dying for a woman is the worst way to go. Leaving the room, they made their way to the 2nd floor. Yang Fan looked down and saw the floor was swarming with zombies. Clutching his newly forged saber, he eagerly jumped down to handle them first. In reality, he felt like he was jumping into an apocalyptic gold mine, a pit of crystal cores. The moment he landed, he unleashed a few basic saber techniques. Spurred on by his sister's cheers, he fought with even more ferocity. In the blink of an eye, he'd finished off every last zombie. He called for them to come down. So, where are they headed next? And how will Yang Fan's journey of revenge unfold? Watching how Yang Fan clears the path for the whole team, I'm thinking if he'd joined the army back in the day, they probably could have saved a ton on their trailblazing forces, huh? In a flash, the road was clear, and he invited the 3 ladies into his ride for a scenic tour of the city. But in the apocalypse, the only person who'd enjoy the scenery is a horror fan. I mean, there's nothing but zombies everywhere, growling and want to tear your throat out. Haha. The universal truth is an army marches on its stomach. The other three must have been too hyped up from the fight to remember. And that's why Qing Shui was there to remind them. Or more accurately, her rumbling stomach was. Living up to his title as a 10/10ths big brother, Yang Fan immediately ordered Yin Yu to stop the car at a roadside supermarket. Qing Shui was ecstatic to hear that, but she chickened out a little when she saw all the zombies. Turns out Duanmu Di not only has a knack for sizing people up, but she's also a brilliant strategist. The team needed to stock up on food and water. Large supermarkets usually have a quiet back entrance for deliveries. Everyone could get in from there. And Miss Yu, aside from her main gig as a master of the flying dagger, apparently also moonlights as a professional drift racer. No sooner were the words out than they were already speeding toward the supermarket's back door. However, it's just our man's fate to always be the one, the guy, who clears the path. Before they even reached the door, they saw a zombie posted up like a guard. Without a second thought, Yang Fan got out of the car to take care of it. And as always, it only took a single slash. The four of them quickly got inside the supermarket. There were no zombies in here, and all the shelves were still neat and tidy. It was the perfect place to rest for the night and recharge. Qing Shui, for one, was thrilled by all the snacks, chips and soda everywhere. Honestly, this girl is way too childish. Duanmu Di pushed up her glasses, furrowed her brow like a fortune teller, and declared, "Something's not right. Given the population density of this area, there should be way more zombies." What's more, the zombies gathered out front seemed to be drawn to something inside. I'll give her that. In the eyes of a super genius, everything needs to be analyzed down to the last detail. Seriously, is this girl some kind of academic prodigy who knows everything from astronomy to geology? What doesn't she know? How the hell does she come up with such sharp conclusions about everything? Qing Shui, who was happily gathering food, suddenly screamed, "Brother, there's blood over here." Following her pointed finger, everyone saw a large pool of blood. The terrifying part? This blood was human. Yang Fan didn't hesitate, pulling out his pig sticker, his level 2 solitary moon saber, and shielded the girls. He told them to fall back and gather supplies. What a total gentleman. A gentleman, sure, but a broke one. In his past life, that green TB *TCH Zhao Yunrong still ditched him for Xiao Ao, who was both rich and powerful. But he should cheer up. In this life, he's already bounced back with 2 beautiful and talented flowers from the Crimson Rose Guild. Look at you now, protecting your people. As they get closer to the entrance, they see a piece of meat left at the door to lure in zombies. Now that's one way to do it. A very clever defense. This supermarket not only has food and drinks, but it also has a way to stop outsiders from leading a horde inside. While Duanmu, Yi, and Yang Fan were talking things over, Yin Yu and Qing Shui had already started gathering the spoils. They found 2 backpacks and stuffed them full of food. Seeing this, Yang Fan remembered his golden ring also had a storage function. He needed to store some supplies in the ring himself. Otherwise, the 2 backpacks they just filled wouldn't even be enough for Qing Shui alone. She may be small, but damn, can she eat. With eyes as sharp as a hawk's. What could Yang Fan have seen that made him look so stunned? On the second floor of the supermarket, a man sits indoors, still wearing his sunglasses. His eyes are glued to a security monitor, tracking Yang Fan's group's every move. Oh wow, guess who it is? It's none other than Wang Yilong, aka Long Ge, the same guy who sent thugs to kidnap Yang Fan back in Chapter 2. And what's even more surprising is that the woman next to him is Zhao Yunrong. This girl is a real piece of work. To save her own skin in front of Long Ge, she pinned the blame on Yang Fan, claiming he forced himself on her. She's now wearing a tight, black bunny cosplay outfit that shows off her every curve. She kneels on the floor, respectfully lighting a cigarette for Long Ge. Oh, right, I forgot to mention. Long Ge is the head of security for the Everything Mart. And besides that, he's a very strange guy. This morning he was spouting some nonsense about how the apocalypse is a world for the strong. Zhao Yunrong snitches. Hearing this useful piece of information, Long Ge praises her, promising to reward her with a passionate night. But for now, all she gets is his finger to suck on. On the surface, Zhao Yunrong acts meek and obedient. But inside, she's cursing him and Yang Fan's entire family to hell and back. When she sees Yang Fan with 2 beautiful women, Yin Yu and Duanmu Yi, she assumes he dumped her for new toys. What a tramp. Can't think about anything else, can she? This woman's eyes aren't just for scheming and glaring with jealousy. She's also got an eye for good gear. The moment she sees the gun in Yin Yu's hand, she knows it's a high-quality piece. She tattles to Wang Yilong to score points with him. She even makes sure to mention how beautiful all three women with Yang Fan are. This is a classic case of, if I can't have it, no one can. Being the lecher he is, Longo immediately orders a few of his men to go down and grab the three women for a good time. He'd risk it all for a beautiful woman. His men got their asses kicked by Yang Fan this morning, and were almost eaten by zombies, so they're fired up for revenge. The whole pack of hyenas heads out, hungry for blood. Back to the previous scene, Yang Fan had already used his hawk-like eyes to spot something. Turns out, what he saw was a security camera. It seems he's already figured out they're being watched. He tells the three women to rest there while he goes to grab a few things. As he walks past Yinyu, he quietly warns her that they're being monitored from where they're standing, and whispers something in her ear. Yang Fan walks through the aisles, his poison dagger in hand, silently calculating. A bottle of water is worth 4 crystal cores. A bottle of soda could sell for 20. He needs to use his ring to stock up on these kinds of goods. But right now, the ring only has 10 square meters of space. I need to level it up quickly to store more supplies. Yang Fan bends down and picks up a water bottle from the floor. He winds up and throws it with all his might, smashing the unlucky camera. Destruction first, looting second. Yang Fan uses his ring and begins stockpiling food and drinks. Just as he finishes, Longu appears behind him, seeing his supplies vanish into thin air, disappearing without a trace. He furiously hurls a spear at our hero. Yang Fan easily dodges the spear and smirks, mocking Long Ji's crew for ganging up on him and still playing dirty. A sneak attack? The moment he sees Wang Yilong, Yang Fan immediately recognizes him. He remembers all their old grudges and new debts, ready to settle the score once and for all. Wang Yilong cocks his head back arrogantly, yelling about how Yang Fan dares to swagger onto his turf, then orders his men to go break his legs. Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots. Yang Fan makes his move. 2 elbow strikes fly straight up, catching 2 thugs right under the chin. A single blow sends them both spitting blood as they collapse to the ground. While they were really weak, the other goons who were about to charge in with clubs freeze in their tracks. Even Longu is so shocked his sunglasses nearly fall off his face. He immediately resorts to threats, sneering that his other men have already gone to take the 3 women hostage. If Yang Fan dares to do anything to him, he can't guarantee the women's safety. However, before he could even finish his threat, Yin Yu had already dragged one of the goons over and slammed him onto the ground behind them. This female fighter had already taken care of all the ambushers. At this point, Wang Yilong's glasses were even more twisted than his face. He scrambled to his knees, begging Yang Fan to spare him. Guess hooking up with that green tea bitch made his personality just as rotten. The moment he opens his mouth, it's to blame someone else. He claimed that scheming bitch, Zhao Yunrong, put him up to it. His mouth was saying one thing, but his hands had other plans. He was still plotting a sneak attack on Yang Fan. He reached for an iron rod, intending to counterattack. But who would have thought? Yang Fan caught the iron rod with one hand. Using the Artificer's modification spell, he caused the iron bar to extend into a razor-sharp point. It pierced straight through Wang Yilong's hand. He collapsed in agony, but still didn't forget to curse and threaten Yang Fan. Witnessing this godlike display, his underlings completely forgot about their boss. They hastily dropped their weapons and ran for their lives. Yin Yu was also completely in awe of the power of modification. And then he was all alone. Wang Yilong resorted to his old tricks again, begging for his life and blaming Zhao Yunrong. This time, our hero was feeling particularly merciful. He spared Wang Yilong's life by sending his soul to report directly to King Yama. Once again, he used Artificer's modification. The iron rod shot out a sharp point and pierced straight through his head. Yin Yu watched the whole scene unfold. Instead of being scared, she found herself wishing for an ability like Yang Fan's, as expected of the war goddess from a past life. I seriously can't wait to see how much more powerful Yin Yu will become. After dealing with Wang Yilong, Yang Fan and Yin Yu went back out. Wang Yilong's underlings were kneeling on the ground, begging to be spared. Yin Yu also spoke up for them. This time, Yang Fan was truly merciful. He told them to get the hell out. These guys are just as dramatic as their boss. They even did a somersault on their way out. I mean, seriously? On the stairs leading to the second floor? The green tea bitch was hiding and eavesdropping since the camera was broken. But Yang Fan is a wolf, and he'd already smelled the rabbit a long time ago. The nerve of this bitch, thinking she could hide. Zhao Yunrong has a pretty face and a great body, but her rotten personality is beyond fixing. She figured that even if she died, she would drag Yang Fan down with her. Well, she wasn't just thinking about it. She actually fucking did it. She pressed the button for the automatic doors, letting the horde of zombies outside swarm in. This bitch is actually pretty smart. Too bad, she only uses her IQ for evil. It's true what they say. The wicked always prosper. Yang Fan told Yanyu to go upstairs and find a way to close the sensor doors. He told Duanmu Yi to protect Qingxue. As for himself, he charged forward, his blade a blur as he hunted for evolution crystals. Qingxue wasn't good for anything except cheering loudly. Sister Yi's hand trembled as she held the knife, but she was still determined to protect her sister. These people, can't any of you be as tough as Yu? Upstairs, Yanyu had found her way to the control room. Inside, Zhao Yunrong was already lying in ambush. In this fight, who was the hunter and who was the foolish prey? Obviously, it wasn't Zhao Yunrong. My girl, Sister Yu, is smart, beautiful, and a hell of a fighter. She easily dodged Zhao Yunrong's ambush. She quickly subdued her and tied the bitch up tight. She's a slut, so she assumes everyone else is one, too. Zhao Yunrong called Sister Yu a slut. After spending so much time with Yang Fan, Sister Yu has picked up his blunt attitude, telling the bitch to shut her mouth. No need to ask for death. It'll come for you soon enough. Under Yanyu's control, the supermarket doors began to slowly close. But there were too many zombies, and the doors got stuck. While Yang Fan was busy slicing through zombies, Yanyu dragged Zhao Yunrong downstairs. Even now, that green tea bitch was still running her lying mouth, trying to trick Yang Fan into sparing her. My girl Yu was just floored by Zhao Yunrong's absolute shamelessness. She just kept rambling, claiming she only opened the door to help everyone deal with Wang Yilong. Oh, give me a break. Truly, human creativity knows no bounds. When you're backed into a corner, you can come up with any bullshit imaginable. You wanted to help us? Yang Fan asked. That's right, Brother Fan. I love you more than anyone. Zhao Yunrong immediately tried to seduce Yang Fan with a suggestive look. Too bad for her. Yang Fan might be handsome, but he's not an idiot. In that case, be a deer and go help me kill Wang Yilong. With that, he grabbed her by the neck and threw her into the waiting arms of the zombie horde. At the same moment, the sensor doors shut completely. Zhao Yunrong was swarmed by the zombies, who immediately began to tear her apart, screaming. She cried for help, but no one pitied her. The zombies descended on her like a pack of starving wolves. Only now was her true nature finally revealed. Even if I become a ghost, I will never forgive Yang Fan. I don't know about becoming a ghost, but you'll definitely turn into a zombie. Well, have a nice trip. All that evil you did. Karma's a bitch, ain't it? You totally deserve this. The glass doors of the supermarket slid shut, sealing away the final, hateful curse of a traitor. The door closed on a toxic love that had spanned 2 lifetimes. It closed on all the twisted affection and bitter hatred. Oh, that's way too deep. Screw it. A love like that? Yeah, I'm not shedding any tears. A cornered rat like her finally gets what's coming to her. And I'm supposed to feel sorry? I'm just glad I can finally breathe easy. TCH. Hard pass on that drama. With Zhao Yunrong taken care of, Yang Fan diligently began collecting the crystal cores from the zombies he had just eliminated. Meanwhile, while searching for the control room, Yanyu had found the employee dormitories. They could wash up and rest there for the night. In the supermarket staff room, the girls seized the chance to shower and unwind after a day full of excitement. Yanyu reminded Qingxue to get some rest and save her strength for tomorrow. Glasses really are a magical item for sealing away someone's beauty. After drinking a Tier 1 potion, Duanmu Yi had finally broken that seal. I want a bottle of that, too. I'm so sick of these heavy glasses. While they were enjoying their showers, Yang Fan was still downstairs, actively gathering food and drinks. In no time, the aisles of the vast supermarket were completely bare. The next morning, 3 men appeared inside the supermarket. This is the apocalypse for you. Everyone's just trying to survive. We finally get into a huge supermarket, and there's not a single thing left. After searching for a while and finding nothing, the three discovered the supermarket had a second floor. The trio slowly made their way up. They stayed on high alert for any zombies. The guy with the buzz cut and the axe ordered the chubby one, Sinan, to go first. The chubby guy hesitated for a moment before agreeing. But who would have thought? The moment he turned the handle and opened the door, he would come face to face with Yangfan's lightning fast blade. The chubby guy immediately stammered that they weren't zombies. Behind him, the two men with the knife and axe were shaking like leaves at Yangfan's speed. And at the same time, they understood why it was so empty downstairs. Just then, Yinyu also opened her door and came out. By now, the chubby guy was so scared he was about to cry. Thanks to Yinyu, who persuaded Yangfan to spare them. The two behind him quickly chimed in, begging for their lives. Yangfan withdrew his blade, resting on his shoulder. He told them to get lost. There's no food here anymore. Once something was in his hands, he wasn't about to let it go. But the buzzcut guy, not knowing when to quit, yelled out when he saw Yinyu carrying a large bag of food. That bag had enough food to last them for days. His intentions were clear. He wasn't leaving without getting his share. Of all the people to mess with, he had to go and mess with my girl, Yinyu. Before he could even finish his sentence, she sent a knife flying right past his face. You dare try to steal my stuff? The buzzcut guy broke out in a cold sweat. Any closer, and that knife would have been sticking out his head. You might get lucky once, but there's no guarantee of a second time. Besides, my girl was just going easy on him. The scrawny, long-haired guy seemed to be a bit smarter. He made a few excuses and dragged the buzzcut guy away. The two of them had only taken a few steps when the long-haired guy's true face was revealed. He was only saving his own skin, looking for another chance to steal from Yangfan's group. Even after the other two had left, the chubby guy still lingered. He said he wasn't with them. They just met on the road, and he was only looking for some cat food. For a can of cat food, he was willing to trade information with Yangfan's group. Wow, what a lucky cat. To have an owner that pampers it so much, even in the apocalypse. In exchange for helping him, Sinan told them he knew of a survivor base. One without zombies, protected by the military. There's none left downstairs. Yinyu was surprised. Just then, a white shadow shot past her. It darted towards Sinan with lightning speed. When it finally settled on his shoulder, everyone saw that it was a white cat. Sinan called her Shishir. It was hungry, so it grabbed a sausage from Yinyu's backpack. Sinan took the sausage away, and it burst into tears. Shishir is a cat that Sinan has had for a long time. Since yesterday, it started eating a lot more, but refused to eat cat food. It only eats canned food. This cat is way too bougie. It's the apocalypse, people are starving, and here you're being a picky eater. When Qing Shui saw the cat, her eyes lit up. Unable to contain her excitement, she squealed. She even wanted to hold the cat. But seeing this, Yangfan stopped her. He could tell the cat had mutated. Hearing Yangfan say that, Sinan bristled, insisting that the cat was perfectly well behaved. It's not a monster. And she sure was very cooperative with its owner. It put on an incredibly pitiful face. Seeing this, Qing Shui clung to Yangfan's arm, whining that she wanted to pet the cat. But he flatly refused. Too bad. Qing Shui wasn't the type to listen to her big brother. She stuck her tongue out at him, then happily turned to lift the cat off Sinan's shoulder. While holding it, she turned back and stuck her tongue out again just to taunt Yangfan. Yangfan, you gotta feel for the poor guy. He worries himself sick over his little sister, and all she does is defy him. Can someone please just ship her off to Mars already? With the cat in her arms, Qing Shui forgot about everything else in the world. She even generously shared half of her snacks with it. Together, they all left the supermarket. Sinan asked if they were really not going to the base with him. Yangfan gave a firm no. Qing Shui and the little white cat shared a reluctant, heartfelt goodbye. I don't know if Yinyu is psychic or something, but no sooner had the day begun, the group ran straight into trouble. Help! Suddenly, a terrified scream cut through the air. At the same time, a motorcycle shot toward them like an arrow. Yangfan raised his blade, ready for a fight. On the motorcycle were the two guys who had gone to the supermarket with Sinan. And right behind them was a massive pack of zombie dogs. Talk about bringing trouble with you. The two thugs screeched to a halt right next to Yangfan's group. Putting on a pathetic act, they begged for help. The kind and heroic Yinyu immediately told them to run and hide. Having achieved their goal, the two shared a sinister smirk. They quickly showed their true colors. The long-haired guy with the gaunt face snatched the food from Qin Shui, while the buzz-cut guy tried to stab Yinyu from behind. Luckily, before the knife could sink in deep, Yang Fan shoved him away. Meanwhile, Sinan and the two women were fighting the long-haired guy for the backpack full of food. Finding it hard to fight off all three of them, he faked them out, shouting that there were zombie dogs behind them to cause a distraction. Oh, for crying out loud. Who knew he was such a dirty player? Seizing the opportunity, he lunged forward, grabbed Qin Shui's backpack, and jumped on the motorcycle to escape. Of course, he left the buzz-cut guy behind. See? So much for being close brothers. More like every man for himself. Before he sped out of sight, he called Yang Fan's group a bunch of idiots and kindly thanked them for holding off the zombie dogs for him. No offense, but that was really careless of them. They let two thugs and a pack of dogs run circles around them, and even lost a bag of food. That's just gotta be embarrassing. While Yang Fan was dealing with the buzz-cut guy, a zombie dog lunged at him from behind. What's going to happen? Brother. Seeing the vicious dog, Qin Shui screamed a warning to Yang Fan. Without a second thought, Yang Fan casually tossed the buzz-cut guy in his hands toward the dog. The buzz-cut guy didn't even have time to process what was happening. He only managed one desperate scream before being sent to practice his Iron Head technique on the zombie dogs. As the buzz-cut guy was being torn apart by the pack of zombie dogs, Yang Fan ordered everyone, "Get in the car now. Don't slow me down." Yinyu handed her backpack to Duo E. She wanted to stay with Yang Fan. In every battle, she never retreats, and she never lets Yang Fan fight alone. I gotta say, I really admire this girl. So strong, full of character and a powerful sense of responsibility, always protecting her comrades. Okay, can we just take a moment to ship these two? They need to get together. The two of them fought side by side. They took down the zombie dogs with perfect coordination. Yinyu realized these dogs weren't actually that tough. Yang Fan agreed, but he reminded her that while the dogs weren't tough individually, there were a lot of them. They move in a pack. They attack relentlessly, and they're fast. Fighting them is going to be pretty exhausting. Sinan quickly drove the car over to them. The car door swung open. Yinyu made a run for it. Behind Yang Fan, a level 2 mutated zombie dog appeared. Once Yinyu was safely in the car, Yang Fan closed the door instead of getting in himself. He urged everyone to go on ahead. He wouldn't let them hold him back. He'd stay and deal with the dog himself. Seeing this, Yinyu immediately wanted to get out and help him. And Miss Shui, weak and useless as she is, who couldn't even handle the long-haired guy, also wanted to get out and help. Oh, come on, ladies. Did you not just hear the man say not to hold him back? Luckily, the heavens left them a sensible Duanmu Di to remind them that going out there was just a suicide mission. Yang Fan's a beast. Just trust him. Yeah, thank God for that. Otherwise, this would have been a total disaster. Fighting the dog is hard enough, but having to carry a bunch of dead weight? What a nightmare. Meanwhile, after a tough struggle, Yang Fan was pinned under the claws of the level 2 zombie dog. He was still using his blade to hold it off. The dog's jaws inched closer, trying to bite him. But Yang Fan thought to himself, I'm the goddamn main character. You think taking a bite out of me is going to be that easy? See this beautiful blade in my hand? Hocus pocus, off with your head. With a single slash, the level 2 mutated zombie dog's head went flying. It was almost too easy. Yang Fan collected another white crystal. You have to understand, one of these is worth 1,000 gray crystals. That was one hell of a hunt. Definitely profitable. However, just as he dealt with the level 2 dog, a whole pack of level 1 dogs charged at him aggressively. The more you kill, the more they swarm. There was no end to them. Yang Fan was in a bind, unsure what to do, when Sinan quickly circled the car back around. From inside, Yinyu opened the door, reaching out to pull Yang Fan into the car. As she pulled him in, she started blushing. And then, I don't know how they managed it. Or maybe it was the car's momentum. But our boy Fan face-planted right into Missyu's chest. Well, at least he made it into the car safely. Missy told him to get a grip and sit tight. The second he was in, Yang Fan started barking orders at Sinan. He called him fatty and ordered him to drive like a maniac and shake the dogs off their tail. But Sinan didn't even get mad. He's probably used to it by now. Or maybe he was just afraid of getting kicked out as dog food. so he did exactly as Fan said. Qing Shue glanced back and saw the back seat where Yang Fan was sitting was covered in fresh blood. Who's hurt? Seeing the pool of blood, Qing Shue immediately thought of her big brother. But with a smug look, Fan said, as if a few mangy dogs could ever hurt me. Ah, Yinyu, you're bleeding so much. Duanmu Di cried out. Yinyu was weakening fast from the blood loss. By now, she was leaning her entire body against Duanmu Di's shoulder. Acting tough when you're at death's door. She's lost so much blood, and she still has the nerve to say she's fine. Probably just trying to keep everyone from worrying. Turns out that buzzcut guy's name was He Liang. Before he was sent flying with his own iron head technique, he managed to land a small stab wound on her. Then, during the big fight with the zombie dogs, the wound tore open. This girl, I swear, she has absolutely no regard for her own body. 1 minute, she's getting clawed by a zombie. The next, she's getting stabbed by some psycho. Miss Shue told her to stop being a hero. Cut the crap. You're bleeding like that, and you say you're fine? Yang Fan didn't hesitate for a second. He pulled aside Yinyu's pant leg to check the wound. Seeing the injury, he knew. He thought he needed to find someone to trade with for medical supplies. But first things first, they had to stop the bleeding. Yang Fan immediately took off his jacket and handed it to Duanmu Di. He told her to use it to bandage Yinyu's wound. A temporary fix. Once that was done, Yang Fan told Si Nen to drive to a pharmacy. Why so polite all of a sudden, big bro? No more step on it, fatty. No good. The pharmacies have all been picked clean by now. Si Nen hesitated for a moment, then continued. But that base I was talking about, it has medicine. And what's more, it has doctors. I'm not sure if this guy's a promoter or something, but he's been hyping up that base for a while now. And it looks like his sales pitch is actually working this time. He knew exactly what to say, especially since one of us is injured. The moment he mentioned they had a doctor, Yang Fan immediately agreed to go to the base. Looks like it's because of Noyet's wound. She really needs a doctor. Tunam perked right up when he heard that. He started driving at breakneck speed. According to Tunam, the base was set up in the largest shopping mall. In this area, the group quickly made their way to the base Tunam had told them about. Yang Fan got out of the car, first to scout the surroundings. Qing Shue and Duanmu Di supported the injured Nan Noyet, one on each side. The two girls were incredibly worried about Nan Noyet, but she was as stubborn and sharp-tongued as ever. Tunam trailed along at the very back of the group. When he saw the entrance, Tunam yelled for everyone to follow him and rushed ahead. He asked the two men standing guard to let them in, explaining that someone was injured. The two gatekeepers both had buzz cuts. That legendary skinhead look, plus their gaunt, skeletal faces, just screamed trouble. They blocked the entrance, refusing to let them in, afraid the injury was a zombie bite. I mean, their reasoning made sense, but looking at their expressions and the way they acted, I wasn't buying it. When it comes from guys like them, even logic sounds like BS. When Noyet heard that, the blood rushed to her head, and she let them have it. I was stabbed with a goddamn knife. You're the ones who look like you've been bitten by zombies. Are you blind or something? Seeing this, Duanmu Di quickly told her to calm down before she tore her wound open again. The red-haired guy just put on a smug, unbothered face. Not happening. We're not letting you in. But the brown-haired guy got an idea. In the middle of all this chaos, a chance to make a profit. The brown-haired guy demanded 100 crystal cores from each person. As for the injured Nan Noyet, she had to hand over 1,000 crystal cores before they'd let her in. Son of a bitch. A straight-up murderer would have more decency than this scumbag. Bullying women, what a complete disgrace. Although, a woman like Noyet isn't someone just anyone can bully. But still, she's a girl. Yang Fan didn't hesitate for a second and took out their bag of crystal cores. All their cores, plus a single white one. It wasn't enough to meet the ridiculous number these two scumbags were demanding, but that white core alone was already incredibly valuable. Seeing it, the red-haired guy didn't bother negotiating anymore and just snatched the bag. He agreed to let them in, but the brown-haired guy was still greedy. He wanted to demand 2,000 crystal cores. Damn, this guy must be a career robber. Yang Fan told him, my things aren't so easy to take. He didn't waste any more words. He told them they didn't have what it takes, and then swung his blade. When Yang Fan's blade swings, you can be sure no one survives. The proof? The red-haired guy, who was talking so much smack a second ago, was now face down in a pool of his own blood. Seeing this, the brown-haired guy let out a blood-curdling scream. Brother. He charged forward, trying to kill our hero for what he did to his brother. Unfortunately for him, a big mouth gets you killed fast. Before he could even get close, Noyet's knife was already piercing through his stomach. That's my girl. Down but never out. Too bad, you won't live to get your revenge. I have no idea how she, while injured, moved behind him so fast. She struck a fatal blow before anyone even knew what was happening. Seriously, that was top tier. But after stabbing the guy, her own wound flared up in pain. Yang Fan caught her, scolding her for being so reckless. I was standing right here. You didn't have to jump in like that. Then, Yang Fan told his sister to get their bag back and to find the crystal cores on the two dead guys so they could take them. After rummaging for a bit, Qing Shue only found a few cores and complained that they were a couple of poor devils. My dear lady, you can't even kill anything yourself. You're a poor devil too. Having witnessed all this, Chubby Tu Nam was absolutely terrified. Yang Fan's group normally seemed so peaceful. But the moment they acted, they killed and looted without even batting an eye. Anyone would be terrified. Tu Nam decided he would split from Yang Fan's group as soon as things settled down. Whether he'll actually be able to leave or not, we'll find out next time. Just then, Yang Fan struck a cool pose, looked up, and called out to whoever was watching from the floor above to come on down. The words had barely left his mouth when a round of applause echoed through the hall. A squad in black suits, looking like the mafia, walked down the stairs. Leading them was a middle-aged man in a red tie. He was full of praise for Yang Fan's character and strength. After Yang Fan gave his name, the man introduced himself as Boss Bao. He used to be in the security business. Now, he's the one in charge of the base they were standing in. Boss Bao got straight to the point. Their base was lacking a third hall master. He wanted to offer that position to Yang Fan. All he had to do was join them. Yang Fan wasn't ready to discuss it yet. He wanted to get Nin Noyet treated first. Boss Bao immediately ordered his men to take the group to a doctor. This Boss Bao, he's a gang leader after all. He was scheming. If he could recruit Yang Fan, his base would grow even stronger. If not, he'd just send him a deal with the zombies. Goes to show the old fox is the craftiest. The bald underling led the group to a shop and stopped, announcing that this was the clinic. He told them to go inside. But Yang Fan and his group found the place extremely strange. They wondered if there was even a real doctor inside. But at this point, they had no choice but to take the risk. As soon as they stepped inside, they saw a grimacing old man wearing what looked like fortune-teller glasses who claimed to be the doctor. The moment Yang Fan saw him, he thought, it's not her. Oh, you know another girl? How many women do you know, anyway? The doctor barely glanced at the wound before demanding 5,000 crystal cores for medicine and treatment fees. Holy crap, this whole base is full of daylight robbers. First, we run into those two goons at the gate. Now we've got this doctor. It's like they're all trying to get Brother Fan to pull out his blade or something. The fatty exploded with rage when he heard the price. He cursed the doctor for having no humanity. The doctor just sneered, who needs humanity these days? You came here for treatment without any crystal cores? Get treated or get lost. Who's injured? He won't treat you? I will. From behind the curtain, a beautiful, stunning female doctor emerged. Yang Fan recognized her instantly. The woman he was just thinking of, it was the doctor who saved him in his past life. He couldn't believe she was already at the base this early. Can you actually be saved? Without another word, the female doctor walked over to examine Yin Yu's wound. The old doctor, obsessed with crystal cores, screeched, Lin Miaochuan, what do you think you're doing? Treating people on your own initiative? And for free. Do you have any idea how precious these medical supplies are? Lin Miaochuan was truly a doctor with a conscience. She believed that when a life was on the line, it had to be saved. She told the old man he could go cry to Boss Bao for all she cared. Hearing that, the old man declared that he was the one in charge here. He even moved to strike Lin Miaochuan. But he clearly didn't check who else was in the room today. Yang Fan grabbed his outstretched arm. He threatened him directly. If you want that arm to go any further, you won't have it for much longer. The old doctor, realizing he was no match for a young man, scurried off to tattle. With him gone, Yang Fan made his offer. He wanted Lin Miaochuan to be one of his people. He intended to repay the kindness she'd shown him in his past life and protect her from a wrongful death. But his team didn't see it that way. And neither did Lin Miaochuan. My own dear brother, what are you even saying? Qing Shue covered her mouth, speechless. WH. Boss, you're so bold. You just met her, and you're already Sinan was so shocked, he started cursing under his breath. Is this a confession? Even the book-smart Dwanmu D is surprisingly sharp when it comes to romance, huh? Too bad. Not only did his own people misunderstand him, but Lin Miaochuan also misinterpreted Yang Fan's intentions. To be fair, I'd misunderstand too. Dr. Lin tactfully replied that they weren't familiar with each other enough to take that step. She even seemed to think he was being reckless. But Yang Fan was a determined man. Once he set his sights on someone, he wouldn't let them go. He pressed on. Then why don't you stick by my side and get to know me better? Holy smokes. Usually he's as dense as a block of wood. Since when did he learn how to talk so smooth? Dr. Lin, hearing that, flatly called him shameless. Meanwhile, you could practically read the jealousy on Yen Yu's face. Looks like someone's feeling a little sour over there. She's getting jealous. To put an end to the conversation, Lin Miaochuan kicked them all out so she could focus on the treatment. Some time later, Lin Miaochuan finally called them back in to see Yen Yu. She also warned her not to make any sudden movements, and to come back in 5 days to have the stitches removed. Qing Shue and Duanmu Di rushed to Yen Yu's bedside. Just then, the old doctor who'd run off to tattle returned with Boss Bao. One moment, Boss Bao was calling Yang Fan brother. The next, he was still demanding payment for the treatment. He even brought a whole crew ready for a fight. Yang Fan didn't beat around the bush. He told them straight up that their medical fees were outrageous. A total ripoff. He even accused them of teaming up to frame him. One of the bodyguards, offended by his disrespect, pulled a gun on him, staring down the barrel of a gun. Yang Fan didn't even flinch, using his artisan ability to bend the barrel back towards the bodyguard. He warned the man never to point a gun in his face again. You might just get yourself killed. To the utter shock of the bodyguard, Boss Bao was thoroughly impressed when he learned Yang Fan also possessed an ability. He offered him a deal. If Yang Fan joined them, Yen Yu's medical fees would be completely waived. However, breaking the rules comes with a punishment. Besides Boss Bao, there were 2 other ability users. A woman named Wu Mei, a level 1 fire-type ability user, and a tall man named Gao Liang, a level 1 water-type ability user. They both launched a simultaneous attack on Lin Miaochuan. Yang Fan's reaction was lightning fast. He told Lin Miaochuan to grab his hand, yanking her out of the way of their attack. Good thing he was quick. Otherwise, he would have had to watch her die in front of him all over again. This incident completely changed how Lin Miaochuan saw Yang Fan. Boss Bao's base had plenty of other ability users, not just those 2. To protect his people, Yang Fan decided to play along for now. He would become their 3rd hall master. He'd use his abilities to help them upgrade their base. All of it in exchange for the safety of his group, and especially Lin Miaochuan. Hearing this, Boss Bao generously agreed. He then asked Yang Fan if his ability could help him level up and strengthen the base's forces. Watching his expression, Yang Fan guessed the man didn't know much about his specific class of ability. He decided to use this ignorance to his advantage and score big. To win Boss Bao's trust, Yang Fan continued to explain the details of his ability. His power could create level 1 weapons. He could also modify existing ones. Once Yang Fan leveled up to level 2, he could then start making level 2 weapons. And so on. He could outfit their entire army. However, Yang Fan made it clear he wouldn't be working for free. Things like crystal cores, metal materials, and the necessary plant and animal essences they would have to provide. In return, Yang Fan would offer his services at an 80% discount compared to any other trader. This incredible deal made Boss Bao ecstatic. He agreed without a second thought. He even made another offer. If the first 100 weapons were up to snuff, he would give Yang Fan a level 2 evolution potion as a welcoming gift. After that, Boss Bao worked quickly. He immediately had his men arrange living quarters for Yang Fan and his group. Qing Shui ran up to Yang Fan, gushing about how slick and cool he was. Such a kid, though he was, as always, the most sharp-eyed of the group. She carefully warned Yang Fan that she'd read Boss Bao's face, and he was not a good person. My face reading skills are just as good as yours, Yang Fan said. I already knew he was bad news. We're only staying here so the injured Yin Yu has a stable place to recover. Plus, they have a lot of good stuff here. Might as well help ourselves to some of it. I'm not just good at reading people, I'm also a master at calculating how to loot them. After all, who's the one who's already lived through this era twice? In another room, Boss Bao sat with his right and left-hand men, plotting how to handle their new hall master. They wanted to monitor Yang Fan's every move. The moment he finished making the weapons, they would take the women in his group hostage. They'd force Yang Fan to be their personal weaponsmith for life. Wume was thrilled by Boss Bao's plan. She even praised him, saying he was as devious as ever. Back with Yang Fan's group, they were being led by a few bodyguards to the freshly cleaned rooms Boss Bao had ordered for them. But for Yang Fan, Gao Yang pointed him in a different direction. He said the materials were already prepared. It was time for Yang Fan to start fulfilling his end of the bargain. Boss Bao thinks Yang Fan is naive. But in this second playthrough, who's the real wolf in sheep's clothing? Yang Fan instantly saw through their little scheme, but he didn't mind playing along in their little drama. Let's see who outsmarts who in the end. Qing Shui tried to go with Yang Fan, but Gao Yang stopped her. Our warehouse is full of priceless treasures. We can't just let any outsider walk in. What's more, Yang Fan and his people were still considered potential threats. Yang Fan reassured Qing Shui, telling her he'd be back soon. He told her to just get some rest. In this game, I'm a final boss. Those 3 scrubs are nothing to me. The group was split up. Gao Yang led Yang Fan to a fuel depot. On Bao Zong's orders, he offered 5,000 crystal cores. They wanted to use these 5,000 cores as a test. If the test failed, Yang Fan and his entire group would be thrown to the zombies. That's a lot of cores just for a test. Yang Fan figured they must have some serious heavy weaponry to have gathered so many in such a short time. Gao Yang then pointed to another pile of stuff in the warehouse. He said they had no idea what the materials were for. They were just souvenirs his brothers had picked up on a whim during their fights. In their eyes, it was just a pile of keepsakes. But in Yang Fan's eyes, it was a treasure trove of prime materials for crafting special weapons. After looking everything over, Yang Fan asked for some privacy and shooed Gao Yang outside. The warehouse was actually a modified level 4 bank vault. The reinforced structure around it was impervious to artillery fire, and there was only one way in or out. So, Gao Yang wasn't worried about Yang Fan trying to escape. Sifting through the pile, Yang Fan found a wealth of incredible materials. A white-grade mutated bullhorn, a level 1 spatial attribute crystal, and a rare level 1 malleable metal. All this top-tier stuff, and these idiots had no idea what it was worth. This spatial crystal might be small, but it's perfect for making a cubic storage necklace. Yeah, that'll do nicely. The other materials are more than enough to craft some special gear for the others. It'll boost our strength and make our escape that much easier. Decision made. Yang Fan immediately got to work. He quickly forged a level 1 mountain-splitting long saber, a level 1 protective ring, level 1 scanning goggles, a level 1 bulletproof silk vest, a level 1 spatial necklace, and a level 1 desert's tribute. Crafting such a large batch of equipment pushed Yang Fan to his absolute limit. Once he was finished, he used his ring to hide the newly forged items from prying eyes. Next, he took the remaining and used cores. He'd leave the rest of the materials for now, as bait for a bigger fish. Meanwhile, outside, the bodyguard was still skeptical of Yang Fan's abilities. Gao Yang just sneered, saying that even with a rare ability, he'd still end up working for them. What he was really after were the women in Yang Fan's group. Heroes are born in every age, but not every hero can resist the charms of a beautiful woman. This toad wants to eat a swan's meat. Guess he didn't notice their guardian angel, aka the main character, was standing right there. Just as Gao Yang finished his pathetic rambling, Yang Fan emerged, saber in hand. He shot him a deadly glare. If you dare touch my friends, I don't care if you're an ability user, I will kill you. Gao Yang's face instantly soured.